Hi, welcome to another showcase of what we've been working on. So, over here we have the player and some enemy, and the idea is that when the enemy is within range, it should start attacking as well as strafing around the target. So, it has got a fixed range that it wants to try to move towards, and once it is at that range, it will start strafing. Now, the attack can happen within some max distance of that range, and that's sort of handled with the uh, the attack stop distance ratio over here. So this is halfway between its maximum and right close to the target. We're going to stop halfway, and that's when it's going to start strafing. So let's have a look at how it actually looks. So here we have the enemy. Sound is currently off, just so that we're not being bothered by laser noises. So he's going to keep moving around, and he's going to try to stay within some range. So when he strafes, he actually goes outside of the range that he wants to stay at. So he repositions himself going closer. That's why he's got this little bit of a rubber banding mechanic that he starts to have. Now, he actually has got a few cool gizmos that you can actually see what is happening. So over here, ignore the bouncing balls for now. Therefore, a different feature that is not yet complete. As you can see, with this little red line and the orange target, that is the expected location. Now, sometimes you do see it go really far away because we have our nav mesh on. Sometimes he decides to path up there. So what happens is if he decides to path up there, the target is going to be set all the way at the top, and he's going to start to move around. You can see just now he tried to do it going up under the stairs. So this is actually how he is strafing. You can see he's constantly facing our target, and he'll always apply a 90-degree strafe from that current position when he reaches it. Now his navigation handling takes advantage of this yellow radius, so he's actually at his target location when it's within the yellow radius, so it doesn't have to be directly on it, just an approximation is close enough for what we're trying to achieve. So you can see he's going there, that is pathing around because the strafe 90-degree had placed him up there. So that is effectively how it works. Just to show you a little bit about the challenges of trying to get it to work. So we have the enemy mobile script over here. So this does all the state management. Now I did repurpose this from the demo FPS scene that Unity comes with. It does a really good job at showing how to do some state management in a rudimentary way. It is robust for its needs, but it does its job. So everything is actually handled in the attack because we want to be attacking the whole time through that we are also strafing. So it is not a separate strafe state because we need attack to happen as well. So what happens is that first we're going to see, are we close enough to the target? If yes, then we'll proceed to strafing. If no, we're going to move towards the target. So the set destination from the enemy controller is going to handle all our navigation. So we don't ever have to move a vector position of the target or do any physics translations on it. It's all through the set navigation with strafe enabled. So you can disable this feature. We're going to see first if we're currently strafing and we're within the distance of our target. That means we have already achieved our target location. So we'll stop strafing. And since we're no longer strafing, or if at any point we are no longer strafing at all, and we hit this logic that we are within the attack range, we actually then want to calculate the strafe target position. So there's a bit happening here, although it's simpler than it looks. So as the tooltip there says, calculates the new position vector for this object to strafe towards. Requires a target position used to apply rotation around, similar to how the Earth, this object, rotates around the Sun, the target. So we are feeding it the target that we want. We want to select a position that is, in this case, 90 degrees by some strafe distance. So we actually have that as a float that you can set up how far you actually want to strafe from where you are to the target based on the angle. So 90 degrees is parallel to the target. So just going back, if our enemy is, let me just turn on some of those. So let's just say this is our player. Our player is directly at the center here, and our enemy is pretty much in line with it. That is 0. This would be a 45-degree angle in either direction. This is a 90-degree angle in either direction. So when we actually were setting it to 90, it's going to select a target position that is either there or there based on some range that we've applied to. So the strafe distance is how far we're going to strafe. 5 is somewhere there. Let's call it world units. And that's where it's going to select. So going back, then we're going to just set the navigation to the new strafe target position. And since we are strafing, we'll set strafing to true, and strafing is only going to be false if we are no longer, if we actually need to change our approach to the target, we're going to set it to false. Or if we're already at the target, it'll be false. Alternatively, if we don't have strafing enabled, just hold in place. That's all it is. We'll always aim towards the target, and we'll always try to attack no matter if we're strafing or not. So how does strafing work? In the simpler sense, we've got a random direction that is being generated. So it is actually just a 1 or -1. It's just a very rudimentary approach to getting a 1 or -1 so that we can apply some positive or negative direction to the rotation. So then we've got a vector3 direction, transform dot position. So this object, we're going to rotate around our target. We're going to normalize it because we only want just the unit vector. Then we've got the rotated direction, which is just taking the y-axis. So we've got x, y, and z. Use the y-axis, multiply it by some random direction. So that's the 1 or -1. So either we're going to go positive 90 or negative 90 in this case, since we had fed it 90 earlier. So 90 degrees, and multiplied by the direction. So we need to know with respect to the target, what is our direction. Then lastly, we're going to return the target position. We're going to add the new direction, and we're going to multiply that direction, because it's a unit vector, by some distance, in this case the strafe range. And that's how it is. Nice and simple, and we should achieve rotation around our target as you have seen earlier. So that's all that we've been up to. Yeah, I guess I'll see you next time for some more updates. Thank you.